Today we're going to learn how to make this little sort of, I guess it's a little wooden jewelry box here. It is a part with a lid, and I guess if I get rid of the constraints here, you can see that there is a base and there is a lid, so it's like a little jewelry box. But we're going to do this in a way that's a little different than how we've done assemblies before. So to start with, we're going to make a part. So we're going to make a new standard part. And we are going to create a really basic shape. We're going to make it a 5-inch circle that we extrude up 2.5 inches. So we'll start a 2D sketch. We'll make it on the XZ plane. We'll make a circle, start it at the origin, make it 5 inches, hit enter, finish, and then we will go to extrude. We'll extrude it 2.5 inches. And then to make it into a jewelry box, we'll use the shell command, and we'll make the thickness 0.25, quarter of an inch thick. Okay, so this is our jewelry box base. So let's go ahead and hit save, and we're going to call it jewelry box base. Okay, now, instead of designing the top separately, one of the cool things that you can do in Inventor is to start an assembly and then design other parts around existing parts. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a new standard assembly. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to place that jewelry box that we just made in there. What did we call it? Jewelry box base. There it is. We're going to go ahead, we're just going to place one, and then we're going to hit escape. And then just like everything else, when we start an assembly, we're going to right click right over the top here and we are going to ground it. So there's the base of my jewelry box. Now the cool thing is I can actually design the top right here in the assembly. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit create. And I'm going to keep it right here in my inventors folder, and I'm going to call it jewelry, I can spell box lid. And it's going to be using the standard inch template, and it's going to throw it in my inventor thing, and I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And then what it wants me to do is pick a place where I want to start making it. Now, obviously, a good place to start the lid of a box is on the top of the box. Now, you'll see the box becomes transparent because now I am in an entirely new part. But the neat thing is we can still use the part that is in the assembly to help us model this. So I'm going to start a 2D sketch, and I'm going to start it right on top of there. And I am going to start by making, I'm going to use project geometry, but I'm going to use, to start with, a construction line, because I want to see what the outside of that box looks like, but I don't actually want to extrude it. Because if you think about it, when you make a jewelry box, you don't want the lid to be exactly the same size as the base. It would get, there wouldn't be enough clearance. The two parts would be really hard to jam together. So I actually want the top of the lid to be just a smidge bigger. So I'm now going to make sure I have unchecked construction, and I'm back to normal. And I'm going to make, actually I don't even need to use circle. Let's just use offset. Let's make that a quarter of an inch. Actually, clearance is what we want to put. It's going to be the inside of our lid. So let's make it 0.065. That is a 1/16 of an inch, and that is going to be the inside part of my lid. If I want that lid to be a quarter of an inch thick, at least around the edges, I'll do that. And so watch that. I'll finish this, and I'm going to extrude the little lip that's going to come down. So this part right here, I actually want to go in the other direction, and I don't know, I think a quarter of an, let's make the 1/2 inch. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And so this is the lip that is going to be on the box. Now, of course, I want there to be an entire lid on top of there, so I'm going to make another sketch right on top of here. All I'm going to do is project this outside circle, finish it, and then I'm going to extrude that up 1/4 of an inch. Okay, now this work is kind of annoying me. I don't want to look at it, so I'm going to make it invisible. And now you can see that I have a lid that fits neatly on my box. So if I'm happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and hit return, which takes me back to the assembly. Now, before I do anything else, let's go ahead and change the materials on this. Let's make our jewelry box base. Let's make that, and I'm just going to type wood here. Let's make the base, how about maple? Yeah, that looks good. Maple. Oh, it does it again. One more time. Maple. There it is. And then let's make the lid. Let's make this guy, sure, birch. How about that? I don't know what bug about, I must be doing something incorrect, but there you go, birch. All right, and then we return. So there I've got a jewelry box. Now, in order to save this part, and you'll notice that this right here is saying it was a derived part. That's okay. When you hit save, you are going to go ahead and call this jewelry box, because that's my whole jewelry box. And you would say yes to all, and you would hit OK. And if you're wondering, is this really 2 parts? So give it a second to save. First of all, it looks like the lid is stuck on there, and that's because when we created it, Inventor automatically added these flush constraints. If I get rid of them, you can see that the box lifts right off, the lid lifts right off the box. Furthermore, if I go to File, Open, there should be a new part in here called Jewelry Box Lid. And there it is, my jewelry box lid as a piece, exactly the way that I designed it. So you can design that part right there. So you can go ahead and screenshot your jewelry box. I don't care if you screenshot it with the pieces together or not. I just hit Control-Z to put that back down there. But this right here is what you are going to screenshot. So I'm going to grab my snipping tool. I'm going to make a new snip, make sure I have my name up in the corner, and that is what I am going to submit to the assignment. And that'll do it. Thanks so much.